Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Gregtech Community Edition Modern. Last time, we got ourselves the next ore processing group, I guess. It's not quite a group. Feels weird to say that it is when it's not quite. It's just two things to get a specific thing. We just needed indium dust, so we got ourselves some indium. It's already actually gone through, what is it? And we don't have enough sulfuric acid. Do we actually not have enough sulfuric acid now? Did I run out? That's crazy if I did. Oh boy, I did. No, that's ethylene. Where's the sulfuric? There's a... What? I'm not out of sulfuric acid. Oh! Oh, yes, I am. That's coming from this thing. So I'm out of it in here, which is not good because that's actually needed in here. What am I doing with that? I'm making it into hydrochloric acid, I believe. I guess that's fine. We're good. So that's why that's not functioning anymore. I guess we'll have to do some more stuff to process more of this, as I'm basically using the excess sulfuric acid from this to process out more of the indium. Now, here comes the next thing that we've got to do. We need to now process out the last bit of our platinum group so we can get iridium and osmium. So I brought over our first part that we need, which is a chemical reactor, which I realized we actually need to place this somewhere over here. I think I want this lower. This is the input, yeah. So I want this input hatch there. Put this one down here for the output hatch. But I want the input hatch because some of the stuff that we get from it will actually get processed out. The first thing that we need, let's grab out, I guess we need our cells out first. Let's get a stainless steel cell. And we're going to need ourselves some hydrochloric. Just did. Need one of those to place that back and finish up that block first. But we need some hydrochloric acid. So, I can, remember where I'm going for this. We need hydrochloric acid. And then the next part that we need is we're going to have to pipe this stuff over. I do have a conveyor module that I can use to send it over using our tin pipes. Open that on up. We should see that now. Yes, we needed to export. Why does it not? Did see it go. Okay, there we go. So now it's exporting into there. Now we need to input some hydrochloric acid, and it will use 4 of those together to make ourselves 5 iridium metal residue, 2 buckets of acidic osmium solution, and 3 buckets of hydrogen gas. Now, it does require 4 buckets of hydrochloric acid, and this is important because now we can take... This is now going to pump out our acidic osmium solution directly into a distillation tower, which will now give us hydrochloric acid and water. We'll get 1 hydrochloric acid and 1 water, and then we've got our osmium tetroxide. So this is the first part we're going to go ahead and make sure it's functioning. I do want to check and make sure I don't need to grab any of this out for quests really quick. It looks like I just need to get the dust. So let's get that F3 gone and take pictures and all that good stuff, you know. Guess I want to wait till I have most of this out. So now that we've got the hydrochloric acid out of that, we're going to go ahead and set it up so that we can distill this, or not distill this, but pump it back into its own thing. And I would like to put in... I guess we'll wait for a second, actually. So now we need to process the osmium tetroxide, which I'm going to be doing in a basic chemical reactor, since we don't need to have the bigger one, and we only have one output anyways, which is water. So we do need 8 hydrogen for this particular part. Which, the nice part is, we can actually electrolyze this afterwards and pump it right back in to our chemical reactor. So I'm actually going to have to make another one of those, I just realized. Let's go ahead and set that up. Electrolyzer. And we'll get the parts going while we work on that one. So now we need to put this into a chemical reactor. So we'll put our chemical reactor here. And then we can have our osmium go out the top, as that is where our osmium is going to go once it responds. And then the water to go out the side into an electrolyzer. And then we will have it funnel it back into it and allow inputs into its outputs. We will need a filter. Let's grab one of those. Oh, just, you know, make it in here. Filter, let's auto-craft a couple of these just so we have them ready. And then should be able to set this up to test it out. So now we can pull out that, and we should see the dust pile on into there. And then I believe it is the full 5 needed. Yep, full 5 with 8 buckets of hydrogen. Let's grab out... Let's do 8 of these. Do hydrogen. And like I said, this stuff is fully recycled. So we're good on that. And we can actually get ourselves some fluid void covers built up so we can process some of that stuff as well. Now, by putting that directly into there, as soon as we wire it up to some power, it should function. And now, I think we're going to need a couple more voltages up here. Okay. So let's pull it out the side here. Grab out our special cables for this. Enable the hover mode. Come down and go just like this. And then we can go ahead and replace all of this right here, since I forgot that we're gonna... Actually, I kind of just was planning on a few things. I didn't really forget. It was more of like planned out that I was gonna not have multiple electrolyzers, but then I realized now if I have multiple electrolyzers, I don't have to think about what's going on with it. I can just let it do its thing and pump it right back into where it's supposed to be. So if we do that, then we just need it to say just the hydrogen gas is whitelist. Actually, we don't need that. We just need oxygen to be blacklisted. Then we do this one, and we say filter, extract, and insert. Then we can pull out that and dump that cell. And now we can grab out our fluid void covers. And again, we'll do an oxygen. We'll say we'll do a fluid void cover there. We will put in our oxygen filter and void the oxygen, as we do not have a purpose for it in this stuff. So now I do want to go ahead and pull that first osmium out and then use it in here. Just allows me to not have to worry about pumping it back into the system just yet. So with that part done, we now need to work on the next item, which is the iridium metal residue. Let's go ahead and mine out the blocks it's going to sit on. And we'll bring on over our first power. The first thing we need to do is throw it through a centrifuge. So we're going to pipe that into the centrifuge. I do think it'll take just a second to do so. I have to turn the thing back on again. So 5 of it will now be split up into 2 different items. We have ourselves iridium chloride dust and platinum sludge residue. Now, the great thing about this is that I can actually pipe in the platinum sludge residue back into this crate. As we currently have, that's the crate that it goes into. So I can grab out, should have a few more item filters. We can say, let's uses of that and uses of that so that we can put them in our filters. We want our iridium chloride to go this way. And our platinum residue to go a different way. So we'll have our platinum residue out over here, and our yes, we need a belt. I think I'm out of the regular belts. Let's make another one of those. Almost forgot that we need that part. So we need to say module. We'll just do the LV because it doesn't need to be fast. We're not going to be processing it fast enough for it to need a bigger output. But now that we've got that, we can set up the output to go out here. Grab our conveyor module, place it down, and going to be exporting only our iridium chloride. So from here, we can take our item pipes, pipe it up, back on over directly into this chest here. Grab out our wrench to wire it back up. And then we should see platinum sludge exit. Oh, filter extract. There we go. Now that should come over and it goes ahead and goes in there. Now it's not going to do anything because it does require 5 of them to cycle through and get our stuff out of it. So that is fine. Now, continue with our iridium. We do want to put that in a chemical reactor as well, and that is going to consume our hydrogen. Now, this is something that was important. So we're going to get 3 hydrochloric acid back from this once we get the iridium out. That is where we're going to make sure that we have a pipe that comes in, and both of these pipes need to be making sure that they are directed directly here so that we can put ourselves the chemical reactor down right there, and we will have our item output on the side and our liquid output on the top. So we do need to pipe over first our hydrogen, which will then allow the recipe to actually process. Just need to make sure. Oh, we just need to wire it up. That's what we need. Nearly forgot about that part. We just need our clippers to snip, snip. And now that should be working properly. We've got 2 iridium, and we've got our hydrochloric acid. So now we can pipe this out up and over the top here. And the cycle is now complete. So what we should see is that all of our hydrochloric acid goes back into the system. Then we will have our hydrogen come out and pump into over here. And then we should see no deterioration of hydrogen in here. So we still have the 8 buckets there. We are going to receive all of our stuff back. And now here's the important part. So if this takes 20 seconds, if we can get through all of the processes here to get back the amount that we need, we only need, yeah. So it looks like we quite literally only need the 8 buckets worth of hydrochloric acid in the cycle for it to be able to manage it. Did want to check. This does say, I wish it would tell us the buffer size when there's nothing in there. Yeah, it doesn't. I just want to try and catch it really quick. I want to see how much fluid it can handle. I kind of forgot how much each one of these polytetrafluoroethylene things can handle. Come on. Just watch one of them now, I guess. But if it can handle me putting in another 8, I might just put in another 8 if I can. Just to help the cycle have enough. Even if maybe it's just another 4. Get it? Or is it exiting so fast that I just don't see it? Maybe that's what's going on. I guess I can test it out right there. It's 4,000. So I could totally put in another batch of 8 just so that we have that in there. We're going to go ahead and break this, and we actually do need another one of those void covers. I totally forgot that we need one right there. We get rid of that water, as we don't need any more of the water here. And we get everything back. I find it very interesting that it tells us that we need the extra hydrogen in the recipe stuff, but we don't need to actually distill that to get the hydrogen we need for anything. Because this gives us the 4 back that we need. This produces 3 per craft that was used in here, 3 per craft. So we don't actually need that water. If for some reason we end up needing it in the future, then maybe I'll change it. But now we're going to put our other drum down, or other barrel down, so we can pull out the iridium, now that we've got that. And we could stick that in there. And now it's just to test something out, see where we're at here. Looks like we only have 2 of the platinum sledges. And we're actually starting to make headway on our metal mixture. So I can pull that out, finish that quest. And there we go. We now have iridium and osmium dust. Which is great, because we need this for 2 different things. So the first thing, and what we're going to go ahead and use it for today, is, I guess let's hook up the pipes really quick to get it back to the start. So you know that all the pipes come down to the bottom. So let's see where we hook it all up at. Let's come out this way, out, over, and then let's try to come up. Looks like we can totally come up right in there. So we'll actually have it come right there. We'll say let's output on the back. Go ahead and shrink down and go 1, 2. Again, take this one, have it output on the back, and wrench that open. Okay. Pipe our stuff down here, and we are good to have that transported back. I just don't want to hook it up yet since our barrels are not locked in place. So we need to grab out our key, and I think my chains... Did I put the... No, the chainsaw's right there. I'm just blind. Okay. So lock it on up, quantify it so I can see how much we've got. And let's go place our things back down in the overworld, so that our system has access to our iridium and osmium dusts. So, right here, and we will go 1 and 2, and now go back and hook that up and let it pipe itself out to where it needs to go. We can use the last little bit of it to upgrade our electric blast furnace, which I think the first thing I'm actually going to upgrade is this machine, because I do have a transformer set up so that I don't have to have the 2 inputs. But maybe it doesn't really matter that much, since it's already set up to be running that way. I just need to go downstairs and fire this up right here. Wrench. Boom. All set up. And now we should see the osmium exits there. And our other stuff exits. Nice. And so I should be able to see our osmium. Should now be up to a 7. Nice. And then our iridium. Iridium right there. 21 of it. So this is the part that we need to process to get the upgrade. So this is where we just have to go ahead and grab out some of those. We can stick it in, it looks like, with argon, and decrease the recipe time down to 36 seconds. So if we need 16 cables for each one, let's go ahead and do 8 of them. And we'll let them go ahead and go be done. Oh. Ow. Put them in the crafting bench. Put them in separately here. We can wire them up for autocraft later. And it looks like, yep, 36.5 seconds in the blast furnace to make the hot ingot. And then after that, we're going to get another 12.5 seconds at the EV for it to be cooled off. I think I have it. I should have it at EV. Yes, I do. Okay, so we're good there. This is making our helium. That's right, liquid helium in case we need it. The subsystems are so cool. Just being able to look at that and be like, yeah, those two are different item pipes, and they work like that is, I don't know. Every time I come across this, I'm like, why would you use any other pipes? I mean, mechanism is probably the only other one I can think of, because those pipes are pretty dope as well. But other than that, like, oh. So we're going to have just a few minutes to kind of explore and look at a couple of the things. I think I've kind of shown everything I've been working on out here. So I know I've got this elite chemical reactor, which is now taking over everything. I think I showed that last time. We got our cutting saw, which the only issue I have with doing this one is if it needs to make this. We don't have a battery box set up just yet. I guess we could look at making ourselves some IV batteries. What does that take? Battery IV. So we've got... Is that the only one that we have for IV tier? Is the it looks like it. Oh, energy orb. Okay. How do we make an energy? Oh. 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 I have not seen these. What is this? Okay. What? That's wild. Do we have a blue lens up here? Did I move the blue lens? I did not. That's fine. I can move this one out of here. We don't need that one anymore. And actually, we don't need that one anymore, so we could probably put that in here too. Yeah, it's going to take some time to get batteries up and running for that, but that's cool. Didn't realize that. So it's Lapatronic energy clusters that we need now. Orb and then orb cluster. Okay. Energy cluster. This is cool. I didn't realize they had these, like, upgraded batteries. I will say I did make some small vanadium batteries just so that I had them for the turbine for the other side. But medium vanadium batteries, we would need to make the battery whole, and to do that, you need rose gold plates, liquid polytetrafluoroethylene. So I could make some of those, but they don't hold a whole lot of energy, do they? No, they do not. Oh my goodness. 1 billion EU, whereas that holds not even 41, basically 41 million. That's an insane difference there. So we'll have to get to making some of those. It does. So we need to get into the fiber reinforced epoxy before we can even do these batteries. Yeah, fiber reinforced printed circuit. Got it. See, and that seems like such an easy recipe to set up. To get carbon fibers, borosilicate glass. Seemed like another easy thing to get because it's literally boron and glass. So, like, jumping from the epoxy to the other one doesn't seem like that much of a jump. Which it's not, it looks like. It's just that we have to get to the IV circuit assembler. Okay. Okay. I see you there. Which to get qubits, we need liquid gallium. Like, all I'm seeing here is that we need the EV machine, which we have in a clean room already. And then the quantum eye is just radon, so it's either we need the stuff in either order there. Crazy. Well, that should be done. Let's get our iridium ingot. Pull those out. Turn on our jetpack. Go get another battery as well while we're at it. Is this one. So I need that. It's gonna take a second. So let's see what we need. We need our energy and energy hatch IV. Okay, so those are the dynamo hatches. Okay, so we need our insane voltage coils. We need tungsten cables. We need the HPIC, which we have those. We need sodium, potassium. Don't know if I have the stuff to set this up in the auto crafter. Let's look at that. Don't have any of the patterns, so let's look at that pattern. Better, right there. And we need about 10 more of those. We know how to autocraft that. We know how to autocraft basically everything but the coils. We'll get this recipe. And that's got to get put into, I believe it's an IV assembler too. So let's do the recipe here. That one's also got to be done in an IV. That's still our magnetic neodymium rods, and I just clicked that away. That's not what we wanted. We need this one, just so we have that. We also need our iridium ingots, which is dust, 2 iridium ingot, and that will go for the blast furnace. And then I think just have to do this one. So we will grab that recipe, and actually, I guess I just realized that we can totally leave that as the recipe the way that we're going to do it, due to the simple fact that we wouldn't have to pump in the lubricant when we need to. We can just let it do it itself. I don't need to change the export thing. And then it will only pump in and do the specific recipes for the chips that it needs to do it for, which is only this one right now. So, what are we waiting on for this? Waiting on wrought iron to be made? Like, why is that not working? Because of batteries being charged. Yes? No? We've got full fuel. Oh, there it goes. It was literally because that battery was being charged. So. Okay, so we've got... This has got to go right over here. We've already done that, though, so we don't need to concern ourselves with doing more of that right now. This needs to be done in an IV. This needs to be done in an IV. And this needs to be done in a cutter. So yeah, we can take it all over to the other side. Put this in our P2P tunnel crafter. Whoop! Hiccups. In our P2P tunnel crafter, put this in our... This is our chemical reactor, not our assembler. Don't I have patterns? I do have pattern verifiers. 1, 2. Boop. And we will go right there and there. This should be set to a 1. Get in our coils and that. Get in this. Go ahead and grab that out, and we'll dump this in here to return. Just like we can do with this one. Oh, and I just lost the... Oh, because I clicked too fast. There we go. Okay, now we should be able to auto-craft the energy patch. And there we go. So we got our iridium wires. We got the iridium wires going into the insane voltage cables. We actually want to make sure that those HPICs are already in there, since we already have those also. And let's do 2 of them. Looks like most of the stuff is available. It's just got to craft a few things up. And then we can replace that on our... Probably just going to replace it on this one. And I have to figure out how I'm going to bring that over, because these 4 batteries are not going to cut it. So this is probably going to be removed from this area, and I'm going to change out and have to do a different blast furnace here somewhere. But we can also make our dynamos now, because the dynamos did require us to... Oh, drawing a blank. It required us to be able to make the... Make this to make the dynamos. Let me look at the dynamos. We got the IV... Dynamo. All right, so to get the to buy 4, we need tungsteel and tungsten wire. But to get the regular stuff, we still need the insane voltage coil. So it is required to make the spring. We can still make that in the vendor. So this is all normal stuff. We'll have to set that up for auto crafting for next time so that I can make ourselves a better generator to power more things. Just got to keep, keep bettering, keep making more, upgrading our materials each and every day. I do want to thank you guys for watching. I would also like to ask if you would please like and subscribe. Leave a comment down in the comment section, and I'll take a look at it. Thank you guys for watching so much, and you guys have a great day. Bye!